What's up, y'all? Shuffle, and today we are doing a video on Twitch, but it's going to YouTube, and I've been asked about this several times recently. So we're going to do an updated hero tier list for DD2. So we're going to go through the heroes, talk about their strengths, weaknesses, go over their paths. Try not to spend too much time, but we'll see what happens. So you get to see chat commentary. We talked about this a little bit before I started recording this, and we figured out how we want to do it. Okay, so we have an updated tier maker with all the new heroes that we're going to be using to show them. Starting off, actually, let's start off with the left to right here, although PD dropped over there. So we're going to start by first getting rid of this tier, because the power level is not too different between them, but we're also going to make a new tier. And this new tier is going to be the Bounty Hunter tier. Probably to the surprise of no one, but Bounty Hunter is, I would consider, the strongest potential character. But I don't know, there's one other character that gives him kind of a run for his money, but the reason I think BH is very, very strong is he's designed to be that way. So BH has some really cool stuff. He can tank, he has really good base stats. He's got the second highest HP in the game, and the most important thing that chat is saying is that he has 2 stuns that have no condition. He has uppercut, and he has no escape. And he has flashbang that stuns off combo. So BH has access to 2 stuns that require 0 setup, and that is insanely powerful. You can just disrupt so much with that. And he has stuff he can do in every rank. He can fit into every team. Hurl bad hits for 6 to 10. That's the axe throw move. And he recycles combo, puts out vuln, tanks, disrupts, comes with very powerful trinkets. Like, there's nothing this character can't do, and there's nothing this character can't be in for a team. What does BH stand for? Bounty Hunter. Yeah, very powerful. The only thing he can't do is heal. That's literally it. But he's a very strong character. Alright, we go back to the actual video here, or I should say the game. And so Grave Robber is next, and I was kind of joking about this with chat. Grave Robber essentially is a 3-button character until you get like paths and stuff. But Audrey, we go to the list. I would say she's the worst character in the game. Sad but true. As much as I like her. But yeah, the issues with this character are getting a combo token for bonus crit is not consistent. It's very strong for, like, if it pops off, it's very good. But, you know, the fact is her base damages are very bad. And when you upgrade her, she's built around these combos. And so if you have, for instance, Pick to the Face mastered and you're comboing an enemy, you have 65 crit chance. That's pretty good, but that's not 100. That's not 90 or even 85, right? That's not that strong. And so the fact is, you can hit someone with a combo token, which is a very valuable resource because combo tokens do a lot of things, and you can not crit them, and you can hit for 4 or 3. That is not that good. Most other combo effects, by and large, are guaranteed something when you combo them. The only thing that's not quite guaranteed are resists, but they make it very good. As far as her skills go, Pick to the Face is okay, but this doesn't remove block, it just skips it, which is meh. Throw Dagger is not good without mastery. Flashing Daggers is okay for pinging off tokens, but your best damage move is darts. And that's very sad. This should not be your best damage move for most intents and purposes. She has 2 really good self heals. Glint's got very strange targeting. Lunge, again, you know, you can set it up and, you know, go stealth or whatever, and you can hit for 4. It's not okay. Pirouette's okay. You dodge plus off it. All right. Repartee is actually a good move. It's just very hard to get into stealth consistently without trinkets. And Shadow Fade still needs something else. The biggest thing that helped Audrey were her paths. Her paths are very strong. they kind of fix the character, and it really shows that her base skills need better, or more power, I should say. And the stacking stealth tokens. The stacking stealth tokens are actually very good for her. Chad accused me of abandoning her. No, she's still my favorite character. She's just not in a good place. But yeah, her paths are good. Deadeye, this is kind of where base Grave Robber should be, besides the melee damage penalty. You know, like Throw Dagger and flashing and stuff, hitting for 1 or 2 more damage plus 5 crit, that actually feels about where she should be normally. So I would really like to see this just be base power for Grave Robber. Venom Drop's fun. It's not overpowered, it's fun, it's pretty good. And Night Sworn's solid. But she's still the worst character. It's big sad. We got Hellion next. This one was pretty tough to rate. I'm gonna put Hellion in A. And the big reason Hellion is going into A right now is because, go figure, the Howling End nerf. This actually mattered more than I thought it would. Howling End is still good for road fights. You can still obliterate something on turn 1. And then you can encore it, and actually, no, you could encore it before and do it twice in a row, but you know, it's not a great boss killer, and bosses are like the hardest content. So it's still good. It's fair. Wicked Hack and Iron Swan, these are pretty average, but Iron Swan's good for the reach. Yop is okay. The Weekend's pretty nice, and it hits 2 things. If it bleeds is decent. Toe-to-toe still very good. Adrenaline's one of her best skills. This is just very powerful. Bleed out, solid bleed damage, but then, you know, Bloodlust needs some help. Breakthrough's just a straight meme tier skill. Revelry's alright. Actually, Revelry's pretty good. Then Hellion got the nerf hammer. Her paths are good. You know, Ravager got nerfed, but still strong. Berserker statistically is fine. It's just the fact that she can't use both her bleed moves together. She has to pick one or the other, which is kind of like very strange. That makes us weaker. And then Carcass is fun, but not strong. So I think she's A. And then next we have Highwayman, I think, here. So Highwayman is another A tier. And with Highwayman, he's a solid baseline character in terms of damage. Like Wicked Slice is probably a good baseline for damage moves. It's a bit strong on crit, but otherwise pretty good. The fact that pistol shot stuns on combo is a bit absurd, and I kind of wish this went away. But otherwise, dual savants, PBS still fine, but you're really doing take aim loops with this character now. So it's just take aim, damage button, take aim, damage button. Or if you have it mastered, you get two crit tokens. It's take aim, 2 hits, and then take aim into more damage. PBS is pretty strong when baseline, but upgrade's really nice. Grape shot's alright. Nope. Open main's alright. Double tap's good. Robbery's really good in certain situations. Double cross okay. So all his moves are pretty solid. Even tracking shot, I just wish this did damage. As far as his paths go, Rogue is decent. Sharp shot's busted. And Yellow Hand is fun, but definitely by any means overpowered. So Sharp Shot, this is just really strong as a thing. And the fact that Sharp Shot can be pretty much universal in terms of positioning is crazy as well. So you can use Sharp Shot and use PBS for the bonus damage since it's a range skill, and then you have all your entire range kit after that. That gets boosted up in 2. Yeah, his paths are pretty solid. His damage output is very consistent and good, and he has take aim, which is really all he needs. Like, when take aim gets nerfed, this character is gonna drop a tier, I feel like, but right now he's still good. Man at Arms, I think, is the next. Nope, it's not. It's Jester. Let me see. So Jester, this is our first S tier character. So Jester is very good. So the reason Jester is as good as he is for several reasons. But the biggest one is Encore. Encore is a move that is essentially any other move in the game. You know, you can replace Encore's icon with anything else a character can do, and that's pretty much the best way to describe it. You know, you see Plague Doctors heal, it could be Encore. You see Man-at-Arms tanking with stuff, it could be Encore. You can see Tank Aim into stuff being Encore. There's a lot of stuff this enables. Plus, when you get your extra turn, you don't take any damage over time, and it reduces your cooldown on other moves. So you're able to Encore and basically break the action economy and get into stuff that you should not be doing. And that's what makes it so good. But even without this, you have decent movement and combo potential with Fade to Black, Razor's Wit. He has pretty solid bleeds. The movement skills from Ballad and Playout are decent enough. Ballad's better than Playout, I would say. You got the best single target stress heal. Harvest takes off tokens and bleeds them for a decent amount, which is good. Finale hits pretty hard, especially with setup. Solo is decent. And Echoing March can absolutely annihilate certain back rank enemies, like Cherubs. So this character just does so much. And definitely a high skill cap character. And all his paths are pretty good. Virtuoso is Jester Plus. Soloist, you have to be a little careful, but the damage is solid. And Intermezzo is just really fun. And makes Echoing March a pretty heavy damage skill. Alright, Leper's next. So Leper, I'm going to put in B. So Leper stands, please don't name me. It's not because of the math. Alright, this isn't a take Hellion instead of Leper type thing. But the fact is, Leper, the blinds are a little too punishing for this character. You know, like Hue blinds you for some reason, Break blinds you for some reason. I mean, if you look at Break, it ignores and removes block, which is kind of cool. Block's not too big of an issue. But you're hitting for 4 to 7. This is essentially a weaker Wicked Slice, but you get blinded afterwards. And if you want to think about it the other way too, you know, if you Wicked Slice twice, you take off 2 block tokens and you don't blind yourself. If you break twice, you know, you might remove the block and then miss the second one because you're blinded. So it comes out to sometimes less damage, you know? Yeah, having Break knocks them down a tier. Yeah, Break is just bad. I'm not making any Breaking Bad memes, but his defensive kit is very good. Withstand is strong, Solemnity strong, Reflection strong, Intimidate good, Bash, you know, you can consider this a defensive ability because it dazes enemies, combos them, but also mobilizes stuff. All that is actually pretty good. But Chop, the damage up going from 6 to 16 on Mastery, that's, you know, Because you have to think about it. He's balanced around essentially hitting every other turn if you're not doing combos. So his effective damage range on Chop is like 3 to 8. If you get blinded, you miss and stuff like that. And that's not enough to justify it. And you have to feed him combo tokens, which everyone wants, because combo is a very powerful effect. But yeah, the biggest offender in this kit is the fact that Chop just doesn't hit that hard. Like, considering the blinds and stuff. If you have a consistent way around the blinds, like Cruel Intent plus combo, then yeah, this is pretty solid. But that's depending on trinkets. Purge is a bit weird too. Like, Corpse Clear is very powerful, but Purge itself is pretty limiting. But his other damage abilities, or his scaling potential, like Ruin and Revenge, are both really good. These are both good moves. And then you can keep yourself alive. So he's really a tank first and a damage dealer second. But I feel like his blind mechanic's a bit too punishing. Leper's on BH level, what? Yeah, that's it for Leper. Okay, this is someone we have to talk about here. So Man-at-Arms, arguably the best hero outside of BH. This character is so just stupid good. I know Shy called for a nerf, and at first I didn't agree, but the more I think about it, the more he kind of needs one. Or was I? So yeah, this character's pretty busted. He has so many things he can do in multiple fights. So if you have all his unlocks and you're comfortable playing him, he can... There's nothing this dude cannot do. Better nerf Crush again? Yes, check out Shaijita on Twitch. Very cool, dude. So, you know, Crush, look at this. Crush is essentially Break without blinding. I don't know, man. I can't get over it. It's just better. It's got more reach. Yeah, Crush hits up to 3, which is good. Rampart, you know, this stuns on upgrade, which is very good. Defender, this skill is actually so powerful. The more I play, the more I just find myself wanting this move and pressing it. Bolsters, you know, a really good direct stress heal that's not a self heal. It does self heal, but you heal someone else. It gets you under 4, which is really good. It's the important number to get under for stress. Hold the line, you immobilize yourself and get block. And you come from rank 4, that's really good. Bellow, you know, fights like Exemplar. One of the hard parts of that fight is when it does Pillar of Sacrifice and it gets riposte, and this just takes it off. You know, Exemplar doesn't get dodged, so you can just bellow and goodbye riposte. That essentially takes off like 20 damage from Exemplar. Do you want a move that, you know, basically blocks 20 damage? I do. That sounds great. Retribution, this got nerfed, but I mean, it was a warranted nerf. This button's still very insane in terms of efficiency. But now you can do Retribution into other stuff, like Retribution Standfast, Retribution Command, Retribution Defender, and you kind of loop it like Take Aim. Command, really good. And the upgrade just takes the cooldown off it, which is still very good. Blind is the most common, probably, I would say it's the most common negative token thrown at you. So this gets you around it, and it gives you strength for it. Really good. Standfast, this is really good against Exemplar, but just any really tanky setup for Man-at-Arms. The reason this is good against Exemplar is because you can self-remove combo on upgrade. And this having a 1-turn cooldown means you just generate like infinite block plus. That is wild. Courageous Abandon, this move is pretty much meme tier. It's got a nice crit, but yeah, this move needs help. It's the targeting is really bad, and the amount of hoops you have to get through to make this do good damage is awkward. So you have to have a source of block and block plus. So you could do something like Standfast, like upgraded, and get block plus at the start of your turn, then hit Noisemaker, which is the toy monkey that gives you block, and you can get both tokens and do it like that. Like you could, you know, you could do that for what? That's 15 to 21 damage with 20 crit. Like a bit weaker than Howling End. Actually a bit stronger. Slightly. I don't know. It's too much work for too little payback, which is why this move is just a meme. This move, Strategic Withdrawal, it's so unassuming without the upgrade. Yeah, Courageous Abandon has a cooldown. Unupgraded Standfast and Stone Mount, yes. Retribution gives block. It does, but the thing with Courageous Abandon is you don't want to taunt because you don't want your block pinged off. That's the issue with this move. Because a lot of your sources of block funnel damage to him. So Defender funnels damage to Man-at-Arms. Retribution funnels damage to Man-at-Arms. Standfast, if you have like Bulwark for the damage upgrade, or the taunt upgrade, funnels damage to Man-at-Arms. Standfast is probably the best use of this, but yeah. But Strategic Withdrawal, this move looks so unassuming at first until you see what it does upgraded. Then it does like 14 extra things. I don't think this had a cooldown before, so you can infinitely keep yourself alive. But even then, this is still a really good move. You know, if you find yourself in a mountain boss fight where going to Death's Door is common, you can go to Death's Door, heal yourself for a third of your life, give yourself block and speed, and then combo the target and like crush them after for extra healing, or rampart them for stunning. Like, this move is so powerful when it goes off. Going to give up 6 block tokens just to hit position 1 enemy, yeah. Standfast isn't good if you have low blood pressure. What? Oh, I see, yeah. I gotcha. The jokes. Haha. Stand up too fast, get dizzy, sick, yes. Bearsting can sew the lungs. He probably still can, yeah. Will you ever use Reckless Man? Courageous Man? Yeah, this move's it's hard to pull off, and it's difficult to pull off for like mediocre results. But strategic withdrawal, this move is very good. So if you're having trouble with mountain bosses, upgrade this and slap it on Man-at-Arms. He might actually solo it. I'm not kidding. You know, when this had no cooldown, you could solo bosses. It was very hard to kill him with it. The fact he gives him block plus afterwards is so wild. It's so wild, dude. Because you're guaranteed to survive next turn. Unless you're the only one alive and you get hit 3 times straight. But yeah. As far as his paths go, Sergeant... I didn't like Sergeant for the longest time, but... You know, if you want to do Leviathan early, Sergeant kind of lets you do that. And... it's like its biggest, you know, strength. You can probably solo boss the Courageous Bandit. Maybe not. No, because you're the only one getting hit. And you're just never going to keep your block. I guess you need Stand Fast. I still think Stand Fast Noisemaker gets it done. But yeah. Stretch FM. I'm stretching, dude. Bulwark. I don't think too highly of this path, but like people in the community I trust really sing its praises. So I think it is pretty good. I'm going to trust people that know this better than I do. So the bonus damage on shield skills, this is Rampart and Hold the Line. And so that, you know, that turns it into pretty good damage. But then the bonus stun chance is really good for your stun attacks. And then you get Taunt on Stand Fast, which is cool. And then Vanguard, we don't talk about Vanguard. This is just an example of a path that's just strong for no reason. It's got bonus damage and bonus life. Turns out that's a good combination. Yeah, Stand Fast becomes an anti-exemplar move for sure with Bulwark. Yeah, Man-Arm's very good character. Arguably, I would say he's the best. You know, like putting BH up at the top. Occultist. This is kind of sad for me to do. We got Occultist in B. And the reason is he has a lot of cool stuff he can do. Man-at-Arms in BH tier, yes. But it's just... getting it done is a bit awkward. Because anything you build up unchecked power for hurts you. Because you can burn yourself. And that just doesn't seem warranted. You know, like, I build up unchecked power, I burn myself for Howling End. They can hit anything, which actually isn't too bad, but... some of these moves, like Sack Stab's pretty good. Abyssal Artillery is really good. The Curses, I kind of wish these didn't have cooldowns when mastered. They're really cool effects, but they don't do damage. Then Daemon's Pull is a good move. Corpse Clear. Binding Shadows, I wish this was usable out of 4. Malediction, this is meme tier. Anamnesis is solid, but with that Spirant, it's pretty good. Burning Stars. Burning Stars is a good move. The issue with Burning Stars compared to like Howling End is the setup. So you can fire off Howling End on turn 1. And that makes it very powerful. Burning Stars, you need to get unchecked power from something. Yeah, Burning Stars, it's pretty good. The issue is that, you know, to get there, you either have to eat some combos with Sack Stab to get your unchecked power, or Chaotic Offering, which can do a lot of things to you. It can move you up to rank 1, it can stun you, it can daze you. You know, it can do all kinds of negatives. But the issue with Burning Stars is like, you try and charge it up, and then you get to turn 2 for your big hit, and there's so many things that can go wrong. You can get blinded, enemy can dodge, you moved out of position. I don't know. There's stuff that can happen. So, like, having a setup move the second turn is not nearly as good as a setup move the first turn. Like, I consider Howling End a setup move. Like, there is no worse feeling than using Chaotic Offering and getting hit with, like, double blind or something. And you cannot shed the blind tokens fast enough. And you, like, waste an unchecked power turn from gaining... or gaining an extra, your 4th unchecked power token from Chaotic Offering. It feels so crappy. And then on top of that, you know, you can artillery twice for decent damage and reach, which also double stuns with unchecked power. That's the other thing too, is like, where are your power tokens going, right? You know, like Anamnesis is pretty good, Stars pretty good, but like, what else you can do with these unchecked power tokens? Crit heal is actually a decent alternative. Double stun on artillery is good. Pull stunning is good. Like, I would rather get a stun than potentially hit for 8 or 12 damage. Real talk. Why doesn't power affect his curses? I wish it did. I mean, it kind of does. It affects malediction by making it usable. Pretty decent moves. The heal is still kind of whack. I find myself pressing this less and less. I know Thick doesn't even use it. And then Chaotic Offering. This move really needs some help. Because you do self damage, which is already dangerous, and then you get unchecked power, which burns you, and that's dangerous. And Chaotic Offering can just do some really horrible stuff, like stun you. It shouldn't have to do that. I really don't understand. Like, Chaotic Offering doing all these things for moves that are not really that powerful for it. I guess the double stun on artillery can be good. Stars leaves combo too. That is pretty good. That is pretty nice. But, you know, you got these like average damage ranges, honestly. Curses that have cooldowns, like these would not be broken with no cooldown. They just wouldn't be. You got a movement skill that you should be able to use out of 4 that you can. You have Malediction, which just doesn't exist. Anamnesis is only like really strong with a path. Stars is pretty good. Chaotic Offering is a bit whack. Yeah, and then you have to remember his base stats. He's just like made of paper. Ritualist, as far as paths go, Ritualist, like, you get the bonus healing, which is cool. The bonus curse stuff is nice, but the rest of it is kind of whatever. You don't need the turn start vuln. I just don't understand why that's there. Chaotic Offering can move you too. Like, that's so weak. If you're trying to set up Anamnesis, they can throw you into rank 4. You just don't get to do it. Warlock is fine. Actually, I like Warlock a lot. I don't like minus HP paths, and like HP manipulation plus damage, that's pretty just kind of flat as a path, but I do like the unchecked power for free. I do like that. So I like being able to just, and you don't lower your melee damage, so you can sit there and like spam sacrificial stab, which is cool. And then eventually you just charge up unchecked power and then just throw it on something. Like, you can do stars, you can do double stun or stun or crit heal. Like, it's cool. It's fun. I do like Warlock. I like it. I don't play it enough. Aspirant, this path's just broken. You have bonus life, bonus damage, combat star block, curse skills, whatever. Debuff res, down kind of sucks. You don't even have to use Anamnesis. You can just go stab with this. Alright, who's next? Petey. And put her in A. So Petey is very, very, very solid. She has blight damage, which is pretty solid as a damage over time. She's a very consistent healer. And Indiscriminate Science cleansing tokens is really good. Cultist Scissors A, don't listen to me. You're fine to form your own opinions. Just giving you my thoughts here. Which is why we're having chat on screen. Y'all can say your pieces. I'm sure someone might agree with you. But yeah, blind or Noxious, solid. Blinding is okay. I've been liking it more lately. Incision's really good. Medicine's good. Ounce is still actually usable. A lot of people, myself included, felt that this move fell off. But Ounce is really good if 2 or more of these effects happen. If you are in a place where you can get hit by a disease and blight, so I'm looking at you, Fetter, or, you know, zombies even. If you have a zombie mash, this can happen. You're in here for the Grave Robber Slander, don't worry, you'll see it. But if you can block 2 or more of these effects with Ounce, Ounce actually gets really good. Especially if you have no unlocks. This is a fine move to have. And you can even see all 4 of these in one fight, you know. If you are fighting in Chapter 2, where the Ordainment buff is burn on hit, you can fight like a Fetter mash, where there's disease, there are butchers that bleed you, there are multiple enemies in the Fetter that can blight you, and then you have a chance to get burned by the Ordained buff. So Ounce can block 4 things. That's kind of cool. Plague Grenade, this is reliable backline damage. So this can be pretty good. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's just solid. Emboldening Vapors, if you run stuff like Physician, which we'll talk about in a sec, this gets pretty nice. Same logic as like Battle Ballad. You can really ramp a damage dealer. So if you aren't going to stick a damage over time effect, or you're only going to hit for like 5 damage, you can ramp someone for a lot more damage, and that's pretty cool. Disorienting is good. I wish the weaken chance was higher. I no joke wish this just weakened every time. I don't know if that would break it. I don't think that would break it, right? If this just weakened consistently, like that's cool. Shuffle, daze, weaken. I like all that. We don't have enough sources of weaken either, I feel like. But this move's solid, especially with Physician. Indiscriminate Science, this is, I'm sure this is getting nerfed at some point. I just hope it can cleanse the tokens. The heal amounts are insane. I just hope it can cleanse the tokens, because we don't have much in the way of token cleanse. So being able to get rid of all the negative tokens on upgrade is really good. That's like the best part of this move. All the healing is secondary. This move gets more busted if you have someone like Highwayman or Man-Arms that can just generate a ton of tokens at once. Cause of Death, it's not bad. If you can feed her a crit token, it's pretty good. But most of the time, you're better off just letting the dots tick down and keep ramping. I don't know. It's almost meme tier. It can do stuff. It can end fights pretty quickly. The issue with Cause of Death is, you know, you can hit something for 70 damage and put it to Death's Door, but it's not going to check Death's Door that turn because you took all the damage over time off it. Cause of Death applying combo is cool, but like what's the best use of this? And Easy Rain clearing corpses is nice. This move, it's funny. This move, if you add like one other thing to it, it might just be a broken move. But as now, it's kind of underwhelming. Burning everything and doing no damage on hit and clearing corpses is cool. If this did like 1 damage and check death blow and stuff, that'd be very powerful. It would essentially be Anamnesis with no setup, but a cooldown. Dot teams are very strong against bosses with Cause of Death. They are, but a lot of them have DBRs, so you know, you do all your damage to end the fight like a turn early, and then you're not checking death blow because of you eat all the damage over time. Have base do 100, upgrade do 2. That would be insane. I think you might have to do that though, just to make it worthwhile. But yeah, PD just very, very, very solid. Makes a lot of teams much safer. And her paths are all good. Surgeon's good. Alchemist is good. And these are easy to play too. It's not like some of the other paths, like, you know, Yellow Hand is hard to play. Carcass is really hard to play. Like, all of her paths are just put her on the team and slam buttons. Except Physician. Physician's a bit tough. Surgeon's PD cosplaying as Leper, yes. But Physician's good. It's a little weird to use. This gets better the farther into the run you are too. Like, Biome 1, this isn't strong. Biome 3, it's pretty good. Yeah, Magraine becomes her best dot attack with Physician for sure. You can still use Incision with this too. Don't get it twisted. The on-hit damage is still solid. And then we have Runaway left. Fitting that she's the last hero. So Runaway, I'm going to put name. And it took a lot of buffs for her to get here, but Runaway's very, very good now. Skip Leper paths. Did I? I did skip Leper paths. We're going to have to go back. Yeah, so real quick. Searing Strike, like I said, it's alright. Firefly scales really well. Smokescreen upgrade is almost god tier. Run and Hide with the regen upgrade is really nice. You can solo stuff with that. Hearthlight upgraded, removes blind, so it's really good in places like the Shroud. Ransack is good now. Cauterize is better. I wish you could use this anywhere, but I understand it being that way. Control Burn is really good on bosses that get multiple turns, because it'll stack up very quickly. Dragonfly is really good. Just good damage, combo chance. Firestarter is solid if you can break the action economy, so I think it was Thick who told me about like Firestarter linseed oil, so you can just, you know, throw extra burns, which is nice. And Backdraft, we're still figuring this out. with the right setup, which I don't like saying, but with the right setup, this move can put out some really good damage. Just a pain in the ass to get there. And then as far as their paths go, they're actually pretty good. Arsonist got buffed. You can resist the self-burn now, so if you get her a burn resist trinket, she's really safe. And this is just really good. Survivor, still figuring this one out. It feels pretty bad on paper. Yeah, we got a backdraft for 44 damage the other day. Orphan. The minus damage kind of hurts because this makes you want to put her in rank 4 and spam Firefly, which Arsonist is already good at, so these kind of do the same thing. But Orphan's still pretty good if you can keep her safe. Now let's talk about the Leper paths and get out of this video here. Fatherless is quite good. So as far as Leper paths go, Tempest is... This is my favorite one because you get disease immunity and debuff res is really good. The minus HP kind of sucks, but he also has the highest HP in the game. The minus speed is pretty detrimental, but still you can work around it. This makes Leper a pretty solid damage dealer if you can feed him combo. Even then, you don't have to feed him combo because he can resist the debuff a little more consistently. Yeah, Orphan Firestarter gives herself crit, which is really good. Poet, this is kind of like Sergeant where it's great in like some niche scenarios. If movement's going to be a thing like Leviathan, this gets really good. If you're fighting the locks that spam stun you, this gets really good. And the minus damage kind of sucks, but it's okay. Monarch is just like worse Tempest. You get this, you recover the speed thing, but you get the debuff res on that too. So Monarch, you're just like basically doing poet damage until a cultist fight, or not cultist, but a cosmic fight, which is cultists and mountain bosses. And then you become slightly weaker Tempest for those encounters. Although you do get the bonus HP. It's like the numbers look deceiving. It works out to being plus 25% chop damage because you get the minus 75 and then the plus 100. And then it's plus 20% HP and plus 2 speed, which is a solid buff. Is it game breaking? I don't know. But the best way to play Monarch is actually to like spam you. This is your new damage move with that path, or bash. I like bash. But that's it. So let's go take a look at the tier list. I'm pretty happy with this right now. Let me know your thing down below. Zoom in a little bit. Get chat covering everything. But yeah, when we get another hero or some sizable updates, we will revisit the tier list. It's like the food pyramid for gamers. You can pick your paths, the defensive ones feel less bad. True, actually. It's a good point. Solid tier list? I think so too. Trying to hide Grave Robber in C tier? No, she's there though. So. Whew. That's it for this one. I said no. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.